How are you doing this morning?
Doing well. It's a good morning. I'm liking it. Kids are back in school, which is weird.
Yeah.
Um, but like they're grooving on it, which like I can tell you prior to spring break back in like 1917 or whenever that was.
73, I believe, was when they
Yeah.
started the lockdown. August of
Okay.
73.
Yeah. So prior to that, my kids were pretty burnt out on the whole school thing. And so the to watch them like come home like being excited about having like been to school and seen their friends. Like the mask thing bothers them and I understand why. It's really uncomfortable. Um but
Yeah,
to
masks, by the way. Tell your kids if they want a cool mask, I've got masks with a Buddy Yeti on them.
There you go.
Yeah. And your kids can go into school with masks that say woke and baked.
Nice. And honestly, that's something like someone like my daughter, like that's a big thing for her is she doesn't like to buy like the Fred Meyer clothing or the Walmart clothing or the big chain store clothing. She likes to support individual artists um, and buy their merch. And I think that's a really cool, unique thing about her. The other cool, unique thing about her is she kind of screwed off the majority of like the COVID thing. Like she attended the Zoom meetings, she did her work, but she was really like phoning it in. Turns out so was everybody. So if you're worried that your child might be behind, no.
So for me, in my house, with 6 billion children and a wife who's a teacher, those of you at home listening to the podcast and not on the YouTube channel missed the big old stupid smile on my face. But that was a big old stupid smile on my face because that means it's just me hanging out with the baby and there's no one screaming. The only person that's screaming is screaming to let me know they need a diaper change, they're hungry, or they don't want to play where they're at. They want to play someplace else, and then we go play someplace else. Whatever, no big deal.
Yeah, well, I'm glad there's someone there to watch you.
Exactly. I think, thank heavens.
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, but yeah, it's such a crazy world. Um the oh my gosh, there's so much
Kids are back
I
in school, and here's the thing: kids are coming back to school only to get ready for spring break.
I think in like if there is a higher power, he will intervene or she will intervene. They will intervene. I'll let them choose their pronoun. Um,
As it should be.
yeah. Um, Spring break should be canceled. Like I think that should be taken away. Like
Well, hear me out. Hear me out. What if we treat it like snow days where they've got to make it all up at the end of the year?
oh, I think we should. I think there
I'd
should
be
be
great. Stay out of my house, you son of a bitch.
a it's like my kids are at the age now where it's like they can make it off the bus and I don't have to worry about them. Like they can get off the bus and walk home. I don't like even have to like go outside and meet them and hold their hands or anything. So like we're at that age now. So I'm kind of like when are you guys gonna get a job and move out? Like
Yeah,
daddy's
they're kind of getting there. Like when you start, like when they hit 11, isn't that really the downward slide? Like I knew dudes that had anything with like a 20-year retirement, right? Like once they hit like 10 years in one day, they're like, I'm on the downward slide. You're like kind of at the halfway point. But as parents, it's like you're on the downward slide if we get to kick you out.
Oh, I know. Well,
You don't have to live here anymore. You can live elsewhere. You can live with your friends. You can start your own family. It's like the bar when they close. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
for me, the for me, where I'm still at in all of it is I see it like the ticking time bomb, because I know, like, my daughter's 11, so I got like I'm on, like, I'm the cut the green wire, cut the red wire before she hates me. And so I don't know how much time I have, because it's not even cool. Like, and I don't know why, like, villains in movies do not put a timer on there that tells the hero how much time he has to defuse the bomb. Don't put that kind of timer on there. Or if you do, put like some black tape over it. So he's got to spend time scraping that off, and then like he gets it undone. He's like, oh, I should have been cutting one of these wires. Um, it's stupid. And, it's like leaving, if it's like if you left the washing instructions like on the back of the tag of the time bomb. Because that's what it's like with my daughter. Like, I don't know. I know it's gonna happen. I know there's gonna be that moment where she hates me, because it comes up bits and pieces of times. Like, we've talked about this before. Like, there's those moments where it's like she kind of just, she's just kind of ignores me, and then of course, like, then she loves on me, and it's my child again. But then there's like there's those, Dad, I love you, go away.
Yeah.
Which I am irritating. I understand that, but
Yeah, she actually she was the first person to reach out to me about you. She said, "Hey, I've been listening to your podcast, and you know what's better than one loser? Two losers." And I was wondering if you would be my dad's friend. That way, you two can be losers together, and I can talk to Ethan Jewell over Zoom.
yeah, yeah. If you guys can make that happen real quick. Also, yeah, I really like. I don't. I don't feel like he feels like a failure enough. Like, I think he needs one.
He needs to be befriended by the guy he didn't hire.
Yeah, yeah. Can we double down on stupid?
Yeah. Oh
Oh
man.
my gosh.
So there was something I actually wanted to talk to you about, and we're hopefully we're going to talk to Jabby about it real quick. Jabby being the nickname of I don't even want to butcher his last name, but his first name's Giovanni, and he is the announcer for the AFC. Um, However, he is coming on the podcast. We're going to talk a little bit about mixed martial arts, but we're also going to touch on the recent firing of UFC Hall of Famer Pat Miletich by Legacy Fighting down in the States.
Yeah, that's
So he hosts a podcast called The Conspiracy Farm, and and I have to be 100% honest. It was a big influence for me to really go through and do Woke and Baked.
no,
Um,
no, no, no. You were an influence to him.
that's I liked. I didn't want to say anything, but I came up with his nickname, the Croatian Sensation,
Yeah.
because I was like, well, I think Crow Cop's probably already taken, and you're not a cop.
Well,
So
yeah.
he was like, well, then what's a good name? And I said, the Croatian Sensation, and you do a goatee. And he said, you know what? I'm going with it, Bill. But years later, he paid me back with the Conspiracy Fund.
Nice. I love how modestly you play this off. Because I know you've done so much more for him than you're even willing to admit right now.
He told me at one point he wanted to grow his hair out, and I said no, keep it short. Keep it short. You need to look. You need to look like a Law and Order guy. You got to be that guy. You got to look like a guy that's very much like rules and organization, and like
Yeah.
you look like a guy. You need to look like a guy who has the word systems in whatever he puts his last name on. All right, it'll be Miletich something systems. So whatever you go on to do with your life, Mr. Miletich, whatever you do, when you get good at it, it needs to be your last name something systems. And
Some verb.
the go verb.
The I remember this is a bit off track, but I remember using him a lot in like the original UFC games, like the video games.
Yeah.
Like he was kind of my go-to guy. So yeah, I'm glad they banned him from everything. I don't ever want to see him again. I lost a few fights using him that I'm not proud of.
Were you using Kevin Randleman? Or were you fighting against Boss Rutan?
I think I was fighting with my inner demons.
and and you using Pat Miletich as your avatar.
To fight my inner demons. Yeah.
Man. Well, good morning. So Pat Miletich clearly, like as grown men, is an influence on both of us. But I guess what I'm saying is like you knew who you were hiring when you hired, right? Like when you have him, but he's also one of the best to ever do it. He's legitimately a UFC Hall of Famer with a very keen knowledge of this sport. Okay, he is whatever they were paying him probably wasn't enough.
And he's also, I want to point out, and because I think a lot of like I hate to be the old guy that's like you youths, but he was definitely one of the original innovators. As far as when it came to it actually being mixed martial arts.
I think, man, the only thing that I can compare it to is like a news commentator, and not even like a news commentator, but like a person on cable news who gives their opinion in the evening, whatever that person is.
News and commentary.
That person telling an athlete to hit a ball, right? We don't need your opinion. Just dribble, just hit a ball, just play the sport. I think it's really hypocritical when you look at it that way. We encourage our athletes to have opinions, but gosh forbid one of our commentators does.
Well, no, we want them to have opinions, just the right ones.
But not the right ones.
Yeah, no. Oh, you beat me to that. Yeah, it's disappointing, to be honest, because as like there's no like Pat's not storming the Capitol. He's not burning stuff down, like not stealing the podium that oddly you have in your background there. Oh, that should be your green screen background.
I was thinking about that as you were speaking. I was trying to do that and work my brain. I'm like, what am I going to put in the background? And I think up until you say that, it'll be Pat Miletich the entire time. It'll be Pat Miletich, and he'll have his goatee and his clean cut look. It might say Miletich fighting systems. I don't know if he's going to look mean or smile. I'll probably have him smile because I like smiling Pat Miletich.
Can you edit it to Pat Miletich smiling system?
You know what? I can actually put down at the bottom Miletich smiling system, and it might say that the entire time. It might say Miletich verbiage system.
Yeah.
Miletich verbing system.
We'll just honor him with multiple verbs.
Oh, maybe. But you know what's really cool is when I do this, when I edit this, and between editing it and getting it uploaded, I won't have like people fucking other doing their shit. Like I know they're my children and they are my wife and they are like
I
the
like that you refer
people
the
I
people,
live
the
with.
people in my house.
Um, the people I am currently sharing this existence with, and they're sharing their existence with me. Those
Part of my
folks,
journey.
yes, my journey. Um, so yeah, those people. Um,
The worst of all of them.
I can edit this now and maybe even have it uploaded by a regular time. Anyway, nonetheless, so I'm getting off topic. I'm getting off. Here's the thing. Pat Miletich, as far as I can tell, didn't advocate violence. He didn't advocate anything like this. I think some people were upset about a picture that he took with some people and maybe a flag that was waving outside, right?
Mhm.
You cannot control flags and signs that other people are waving. If you've ever gone to a professional wrestling event, you can't control the sign that goes up there. That whatever someone is waving behind you or waving in the screen, if it says something terrible or Beck was a peep, Beck is a peep, whatever it says, you can't control that. That's someone else's sign in someone else's frame for what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
Um, I can't believe you'd be within 10 feet of those people. There's a lot of people, right? And a lot of people with different ideas um, that believe a lot of different shit. I believe in one thing. I believe that Ryan Sandberg is the greatest Spokaneite of all time. And you say, no, I don't even know if it's Spokaneite. That's John Stockton, and he is the greatest athlete to come out of Spokane, and he is the greatest everything ever to come out of Spokane. Those are your only two choices.
It's actually a guy
And
named Craig.
was Roger Craig from Spokane?
No, just I don't know his last name. I just like I
Um,
needed to jump and he jump started my car, and so Craig's
he's
the
a
best
sweetheart.
Spokenite ever.
But yeah, so like,
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, a lot of people can have a lot of different ideas, but both of those guys, they can both know that the Screaming Trees are the best band to ever come out of Seattle.
I think no, I think that's like unanimous. Well, there's 73 million people that don't think the Screaming Trees are the greatest band to come out of Seattle, but
Yeah, but there's like 78 million that know. No, seriously. We have if a bunch of different people go to a bunch of go to the same event, right? Lots of people like Creed. I think this was the point I was making
yeah.
in the toilet to myself. Lots of different types of people like Creed. People that like doing cocaine with strippers liked Creed, and they would probably go to a concert. And like the nice Christian family that drives a minivan that sings with eyes or with arms wide, or whatever that song was, with arms wide, or whatever they sing to their
This
kids, right?
is
They're gonna go.
generic.
They're gonna go to the same concert, right?
Yeah.
But they have completely different thoughts and ideas of how you should spend a Saturday night. So, with that being said, you can't control who's going to go to a protest that turns into a riot, right? The more you look into it, like where were the cops, where were the National Guard, where were all of these security layers that should have been in place for something like that, for a crowd of that magnitude, right? That
Yeah.
that action that action of going out there, that's not on Pat Miletich.